Can we like do like the so no one told you life was gonna be this way?
There's no way I'm gonna link 4 fast claps together. 3, 2, 1, clap. I really need to stop bringing you on this show. Welcome to the Utter Nonsense Podcast. My name is Matthew.
My name is Max.
How you doing, Max?
Why do you do full names? Your name's Matt. My name's Max.
I just say Matthew.
Why
That's
Matthew?
my name. It's my name.
No, it's Matt.
If you look at my birth certificate, it says Matthew.
If you look at my social security card, it says Maswell. So I need to get that changed.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, it's a Z. It's crazy.
That's
my whole life.
Just so on time.
I've been Maswell.
So accurate.
What are we doing today, Matt?
We have a very special guest on today's episode. We are joined by Marine Biologist extraordinaire, who works in Central and Northern California doing marine biology research.
That means water bio.
Good job, Max. And he's also a longtime friend of both of ours. I did the math. We've known each other for 16 years now. Welcome to the podcast, our good friend Travis Leggett. Travis, thank you for joining.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
I've been wanting this episode for a long time.
Ever since you guys started doing this, I wanted to like get in on it. And, I was always really nervous.
I'm so excited.
Just get in on it. You know what I'm saying?
That specifically is what made me nervous.
this third person right here in the box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're pointing to.
I'm pointing at you.
I don't need to point.
Well, like we were saying, Travis, we met, in 6th grade. So that was 16 years ago. And then we met Max freshman year. So you've known Max now 13 years? 14
13 years? Magical years.
Yeah.
13 long years.
Really,
when we met via water polo.
Yes.
Yep. Summer, probably the summer going into freshman year, I bet.
Yeah, it was
probably
freshman,
because I was in training and stuff.
Yeah, I was not at most of the summer stuff because I was in Colorado, high altitude training.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was on your uncle's boat.
Yeah.
High altitude.
High altitude. Yeah.
Well, we had a very competitive freshman team, so I understand why you'd want to do that.
Oh man, we got.
Dude, I wasn't even on the freshman team. I walked in.
No one gave a shit about our freshman team. Like Frostoff was like the black sheep. Is that? I said it right. The black sheep was the Frostoff team.
Was that a tongue twister?
No, black sheep is a metaphor for like the lower scum of the earth.
Oh.
So yeah. But then we got on to varsity, and we won. That was a good time. So
you have such a way with words.
But I remember Travis and the clothesline.
Oh, you want to go straight into those kind of stories? All right,
we could go right into that.
I do remember the clothesline. Actually, I do. Thank you. I don't know if I ever would have remembered that if you hadn't brought that up. Did you run into the clothes? It was I think it was on Malibu's.
I know the full story. I remember this like I literally as if it was yesterday. This is one of my favorite stories to tell people.
Me and Travis are like, it happened. But this is Matt's favorite story to tell person, and it's about me and Travis.
Three of my 5 go-to stories involve the two of you. Like,
wow.
Oh, because they're hilarious. Well, for context, let's give context to the listeners at home. Travis and Max have this beautiful relationship of torturing each other, and you guys lived together at one point as well.
Which was torturing each other.
Yeah, which was torturing each other.
I just don't feel like I tortured you at all. I was a really good roommate.
You were a great roommate.
You were a good roommate.
Honestly,
I was like a third parent.
Other than when I like take your shit, like you were a good roommate. Like that other guy, whatever his name was. Yeah, we don't talk about him anymore. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep talking about the clothesline.
Well, yeah. Let me tell this clothesline story real quick, and you guys tell me if you remember the details. We were at Malibu High School for a water polo tournament. Max, I don't remember what Max did, but Max did something to cause Travis to attack him, and you two were running around the pool deck, Travis in hand with a towel whip, and Max giggling his ass off like, ha 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 ha, you can't catch me. And as he was running, one of our teammates was using a stretch band that was perfect neck level to Max. And as Max, like giggling, turned around to see it, his neck hit the stretch band, and he did a full flip over it and just face planted straight into the dirt.
Not my favorite memory.
That's a good memory.
What did I do to piss you off? Do you remember that, Travis?
I honestly, like it wouldn't have taken much, really. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't even tell you. You know, could have been a million things, and I'm fairly certain that both of us would have been in our Speedos when that happened.
You were
also.
We were just two dudes chasing each other.
Travis, I don't think you were at this tournament with us, Travis, but there was one time we were at a tournament and me and Max were walking around the pool deck, and it was like in the middle of a different game of like two teams playing, and Max just pushed me into the pool during this person's, like these two people's games. And like literally the ref blew the whistle and stopped the game for me to get out.
I forgot I did that.
Were you in your suit, or did you have
I was in my Speedo, thank God. I was way more pissed if I was in street clothes, but Max literally just looked at me and pushed me into the pool.
It was a tournament. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I think it was either Peter or I don't know who it was, but someone was our coach, and he was furious with me.
Yeah.
Good times.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Wait, Travis was also with you when you guys, you were there when we all tried to sneak back in.
Montenegro?
Montenegro. Yeah.
Yes. You have
so I listened to the episode where that story came up, and that Montenegro trip was the first alcoholic beverage I ever had in a bar. Was at some bar there.
I didn't drink at all that trip.
How did you get that?
So me and Christian
yes
went walking, and these two, this is, oh my God, I was a really underdeveloped 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And
we all were.
Yeah.
We all are.
And now I'm so mature, and I finally have my first round of puberty hair on my face.
You look like Wasim in 6th grade.
Seriously, that man hasn't aged. And me and Christian went walking around just like at night to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And these two girls from Norway like whistled at us from the top of their like hotel.
Oh yeah.
And we were with one of our other friends, and who was a freshman, and they like hollered at us, and we invited them to come down. I had a really bold, like I was really emboldened, you know. I was like, well, come on, hang out with us, ladies, you know. And I look like I'm 13, but they didn't seem to mind. And in the time that it took the girls to come down, our other little friend had vanished and just left us with these two women.
Right. And
so we went out walking, and the thing that they wanted to do was go to a bar, and they were both 19. They were like either 18 and 19 or 19 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, yeah, we'd love to go to bars, you know, like that's a thing that we do. And so we went to a bar, and I could tell like almost right away that the first girl was not, that the one that I was talking to was not that interested in me, but the other girl was really interested in Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sit down at this bar, and they order Long Island iced teas, and so I just got the same thing because I didn't know what alcohol beverages were.
Right.
You know?
You're like, let me just get slapped for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's nice tea.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. I hate tea. Might as well put alcohol in it, you know. And like as we're drinking it, I can see the girl that's with Christian is like rubbing his thigh like crazy, and so they want us to go back to their hotel afterwards. I think I finished like 3/4 of my drink. It tasted absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to go back. They wanted us to go back, and we didn't go back because we were terrified of getting caught again. Because I think this was after we had already gotten caught being out late, and we
must have been.
Yeah, because it was our last night, and because if we hadn't gotten caught, I probably would have risked it. Because they told us, Peter and Kevin told us, if we got caught doing anything again, they would send us home. And I was terrified of the man that was waiting back in North America for us if we got sent home, you know?
Nobody wanted to piss him off.
I'm just thinking for a second here. If it wasn't for me, you might have gotten laid that day.
I could have lost my virginity in a foreign country with a foreign girl.
If it wasn't for me.
If it wasn't for you.
Bring it back full circle.
Yeah. No, thank you, Max. Thank you for that, honestly. Yeah, you might have saved me, you know, who knows?
True.
Dude, I remember, I forget who it was, but everyone was like we were on that flight and we were like, oh, like it was the Australian soccer team, women's soccer team that was on the same flight, or Australian volleyball team. Yeah. Yes.
Something like
on
that,
the flight. On the flight to Montenegro, and we were all like,
I don't remember this at all.
What if we could get to the Mile High Club and all this stuff? What was the game? What was the card game we were playing? That was a great game.
Me and our coach Kevin played a lot of gin.
Yeah, but it wasn't gin. It was like some other. Kevin played a lot of card games. And
I don't know. I played gin with him that whole trip.
Travis, you weren't more scared of Kevin than you were of the Dustbuster?
Kevin, no, because I never would have gone up behind Kevin at the duty free, or I never would have gone up behind Dusty at the duty free store and sprayed him with Hannah Montana brand perfume as a joke. But I did do that to Kevin.
Dude, the best part is when he came, because he beat the shit out of you after that, but he was calling you Christian, and that you were just like, that's not my name, as he's like wailing on you.
In public. But despite that, like
in public at an airport.
But like, Kevin would do shit like that, you know.
Right.
That was like more or less in good fun. But with Dusty, I was like, you could ruin my life. Like you could kick me off the team. You could make my mother hate me. You know, like that was way scarier.
Yeah, like the thing about the Dustbuster is the way that he talked, man. Like Kevin, Brian, all these coaches that we're naming, would like
many
yell,
sensor bars.
Would yell, and but Dusty would just be like, "What are you doing?" Like Batman, like. What are you doing? And you'd be like, oh fuck, my life is ruined.
Yeah,
that would be like
it makes you really introspective, like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Oh shit. You can't just tell me what I'm doing, don't make me think about it. But no, dude, that trip was fun. And one memory I have of you that we've already I think we've talked about this, but we're gonna elaborate. The slippery roof on that boat.
We talked about this in an episode that never was released, but I know the
slippery
story.
Roof,
the boat that we took.
The boat in Travis.
That thing was slippery, dude.
It was very slippery.
I can't believe that they just were like, yeah, you guys could stay up there.
Let's give some quick context, because to much surprise, the listeners weren't there with us. When we were in Montenegro, we did a boat excursion. They took us out on the Red Sea, and we were able to go swimming and stuff and whatnot. And the boat
is that what it's called, the Red Sea?
The Red Sea
wasn't it the Red Sea?
Israel.
Was it Mediterranean Sea? What was it?
No, that's the Dead Sea is in Israel.
I'm pretty sure that. Oh god, this is
what
this
ocean
is so
are we
embarrassing.
in?
3 Americans displaying their shameful geographical awareness. You know?
I know it's not the Pacific. I'll say that much. No, and it probably is. It probably is the Pacific.
Yeah. So the Red Sea is between Sudan and Saudi Arabia.
So which ocean?
Something else.
See, I was right. So it's the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea.
No, because the Dead Sea isn't the Dead Sea the salt one that you can float in. We weren't in that. We didn't do that.
The Israeli one. No, we weren't in that. We didn't go to Israel. That would have been a fun time. But no, we were in a sea that was very clear and wet.
Well, it was really warm and salty. Super. Mm-hmm. I remember it was so buoyant. We played water polo in it, and you could egg beater out to your thighs so easily.
Oh yeah, you felt like a god in there.
Can I ask you guys a question before we get on with the story? Is water wet?
So I got in an argument with some people about this when I tried to prove a point. And I was like, yeah, it's just water is wet. And I got flamed for saying water was objectively wet. And so I don't even understand why it's not wet.
Because water can't get dry. So how is it wet?
I mean,
water is in a constant state of wet.
It's
a constant state of wet.
You put water on stuff to get it wet.
Right.
But water is not in of itself wet.
But water is already wet. That's why it causes something to be wet.
I think you're completely wrong. I think both of you are wrong. Water is
I haven't taken a side here.
So, I haven't taken a side.
Just by the way that you spoke. Water is not wet. Water, it's the verb of getting wet. I am wet.
The verb wet is a verb?
Adjective. Is it an adjective or a verb?
It's not a verb. Can you wet?
Can you wet?
Too wet.
Dude, that was wet. Yeah, it's fucking.
That's still not a verb.
It's sick. All right, keep going with the story. We'll get back to this water wet. But yeah. So we were in the Red Sea, Dead Sea, whatever. And
we were in a sea.
We were wet.
We were wet. Were we wet? Were we wet?
We were wet. We got water on us. We were wet.
Well, the main thing you need to know about this story is the boat had a second, like a roof on it that for some reason the captain let us all go sit on. And it became
he was cool. He was like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah. Well, he didn't care. And it became very, very slippery when that got wet.
Yeah. On the way back after we went swimming.
Right. But going there, it was fine. Yeah, it was easy. Coming back,
our little hairless legs just really stuck to the slick surface.
So it goes like this. I think you were down below, weren't you, Matt, or were you up top?
I was down below. I got to witness it from the bottom half.
Yeah. So I was up top. I was holding on to literally a little square box, and my legs were just going left and right because every time that the boat would turn, people would like slide. And then what would happen? What happened to you, Travis? What was the famous last words of Travis?
So, they would have been my last words. That would have been a shame.
Could have been on your tombstone. Jeez.
Yeah. At that point in my life, though, that would have been
that would have been funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, like everyone's sliding around on the top, and people, there's like railing on the side that you can like brace your feet up against, and some people did that. I had no place because for whatever reason I decided that wasn't important when I got on, and so we start to sway with the waves to like roll and stuff, and I start to go, and so does one of the freshmen next to me, and luckily that freshman had a brother who saved him but didn't save me, and so I went sliding off, and luckily I slid into a little hole instead of off the boat, but I didn't realize that at the time, and so as I'm sliding what I thought was off the boat, I screamed, and I apologize in advance for this, "Fuck my pussy." As loud as my 17-year-old lungs could.
The word, by the way, for the listeners, the word pussy was extended.
It was
fuck my pussy. It was fuck my pussy.
This is what I heard from the bottom deck. I heard fuck my pussy.
And then I landed in the bottom deck, surrounded by everybody. And it wasn't just our teammates; it was families and random tourists.
That's
with
right.
Children down
I forgot there was other people there.
Yeah, it was a very heterogeneous mix of people, and then I had to stay down there because I wasn't going to climb back up, so I had to sit there with all of the people that saw me just scream that nonsense.
I thought you went right back up.
I don't think I did because I don't think. I mean, I could have. That's what I would have wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I don't know.
Tuck my tail between my legs.
Yeah. I don't know if you got a good look at our coaches' faces when you recovered from that, but they literally thought you died.
I envisioned myself going over the side and getting eaten up in the prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boat captain did not care.
No, the boat didn't. I was thinking, how long would I have had to float there? Mm-hmm. Waiting for the boat to stop for me. What would have happened? They'd be like, "Oh, he plays water polo. He's fine. We'll come back for him tomorrow."
Yeah. Ignore the blood. He'll get it. He'll be fine.
It just turns into a Jaws movie. So with that being said, and Jaws and wet and how water is wet, what have you been doing, Travis? What are you up to?
Well, I am in grad school now. So I decided to jump into that in the middle of a pandemic, which has been interesting.
Mm-hmm. So you think
actually it's kind of chill. Like school in the pandemic is chill because it's like all online. No,
not for what I'm doing. So like, yes, the majority of it's online, but like this is a marine science grad program. So like the benefit of the institution that I'm going through is that they provide like an overwhelming amount of like field work and field experience. So like, we own like the labs own like a number of really big research vessels, and both classes that I was in last semester, we would have been able to like do research cruises on those vessels.
Oh, and you didn't get to do that.
No, and instead of doing that, like normally you go out and you collect data. So like one of them, we would have been doing like deep sea trawls and bringing up like organisms to sort and sample and then do a little bit of analysis on depth distribution. Instead of doing that and spending a day on a boat and having fun, we just get a massive data dump of like 5 years worth of research cruises, and we just have to analyze it, and that's our big lab for this semester. So
wow, you got shafted.
Super shafted. And that happened for the other one. There were both those classes were supposed to do research cruises, so that sucks. But
jeez,
the freedom of like waking up, crawling over to my desk, and like eating breakfast during class and whatever, like drinking my coffee in class, that's nice. I do like that.
I'm sure that's nice. Have you been able to still go out and dive on your own?
Yeah, so in the very beginning, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to dive or not. So like I have like a little like army of tanks, and like all of my tanks were empty except one had like a little bit of air in it from a previous dive. So like all the dive shops were closed. So, and I was like really like jonesing to dive. So I just went out with like, I had like 900 PSI out of like a 3,500 PSI tank, you know.
Okay.
And I just needed to get underwater. So I did like a 20-minute dive. And then the restrictions stayed in place, but
but the Travis didn't.
But no. So the dive shops were like in this weird like gray area where it was like, okay, restaurants, you're definitely closed. Like non-essential stuff, you're definitely closed. But dive shops, it was weird, and there was no like there's nothing on paper for what they could do. So they just started opening back up so they could fill tanks. So I was able to start diving like a lot, and I was even leading tours during that time too. But
I have a question.
Yes.
If I get scuba certified, or when I get scuba certified, you have tanks.
I do.
I can go for free.
Well, it costs $10 to fill the tank, and you need gear, which usually is like $50 for the day.
But you have all the gear.
I have my gear. And
you have extra. Gear. You have extra of your gear.
Can we talk about proportions in size, Max? Because Travis is not the same size as you.
Travis, what is your foot size?
11 and a half, but I wear a dry suit, and you're not going to wear my dry suit.
I have it. Look, I got a suit. Okay.
How thick is it?
It's a thick boy.
What is it, like a
3 inch?
No, 3 inches. I don't
not
think
3
so.
Inch, no. No, it's a fucking Eskimo suit.
It's a snow coat you're swimming in.
No, it's it honestly, it's like it's supposed to be for like really extremely cold weather. It's a really hot suit. I don't like being cold, so it's like a really like it's too hot. Like in summer, like you have to like really like pull it out and like do that whole thing.
While are you surfing, or are you just like laying out on the beach?
I'm like surfing or swimming or jumping in the water like Shamu.
What are you?
What is happening right now?
Speaking of Shamu, can you swim with killer whales? Because I saw something online of this person swimming with killer whales. Could you do it, Travis?
You can. The sarcastic answer is you can do whatever you want, Max. But
should you?
The real answer is, I mean, yeah, people swim with the killer whales sometimes. I would be spooked as all hell to get in the water with a killer whale. But there is, as far as I believe, there is no documented attack on humans from wild killer whales. In captivity, there's numerous, and they're all super famous. But in the wild, there's none. So
I heard about that. I heard about that stat too, and that blows my mind. Because a killer whale is like, okay, you guys have somewhat of a brain, so
they're super smart. Yeah.
Yeah,
because they're sneaky.
They're dolphins.
Yeah, they're like cats, dude. They like play with their prey and stuff. They're like kind of evil, but I think there's like some sort of a mutual respect. Like, oh, like humans, you guys like burn down your country, your forests, and commit genocide, and we throw animals back and forth while we kill them. So yeah, we're both terrible.
You know, like those videos of cats when like they're sneaking up on you and you like turn away and then you turn back and it's like closer to you. I just picture a massive killer whale trying to do that. Like you turn away and then they come back and it's just staring right at you in the face. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now.
So I saw the most insane thing with the killer whale. Like the people were giving this killer whale in captivity like, fish. And the killer whale kept the fish in its mouth, swam over to where the seagulls were, put the fish down, stayed back, and when the seagull went to get it, bam! The killer whale got the seagull. Like unreal. He wanted some chicken. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Seagulls are foul creatures. So like you just have to imagine how depraved orcas must be to eat the dirtiest bird alive.
Yeah.
And to trade their fish for a dirty bird. That's just that's disgusting.
Gross.
And fun fact about seagulls. So like one of the benefits of the my grad program is the labs bring in a seminar speaker every single week. And you can just like listen in, and they're from universities all over the world.
Cool.
And this one dude came in, he was like an expert on seagulls. I don't know why you would choose to be an expert on seagulls, but that's what he decided to do.
Poor career choice.
And there's actually some interesting things. One of the interesting things, they're covered in chlamydia, just ravished with chlamydia.
Wow.
Yeah, all over their feet and their ass.
So they're just seagulls are fraternity brothers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
No.
You're right. Seagulls are clean. Seagulls are cleaners than that. I'm sorry.
I hate you. Go die in a hole. No way. I will never. Have you ever seen those people like try to catch a seagull with like a towel? Like you put the thing in and you go like, wow, and then you catch the seagull and then they get pissed and sometimes like come to bite you. Like if they bite you, you have chlamydia now. That's how it works.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not the seagull expert nor the chlamydia expert. So.
I'm gonna take a wild hunch. That's not how it works.
Matt, honestly, I don't give a shit about your opinion. So we're just gonna move on. So, what is the scariest moment of any dive that you've ever experienced?
That's a really good question because
Wait, stop for a second. You hear that, Matt? That's a really good question. Has he said that about your questions? Fuck no. Keep going.
You know when like a 5-year-old gives you a drawing of a stick figure and you're like, wow, this is really good, I'm gonna put it on the fridge. That's your life. Okay.
I was gonna say something to the same effect, but I was just gonna I was like I'll take a break from that for a little bit. I'll get back to it.
This is episode 32 of me dealing with this shit. I say whatever the fuck I want to say to him now.
Is this episode 32?
Well, for me it is. This is like episode 16 for you showing up.
Okay, all right. Keep going, Trav.
So the scariest thing that's ever happened to me underwater. So it is a good question because I have like 3 different like branches of like my diving experience, right? I have like my personal like recreational side, like doing dives for fun or diving with friends, and then I have my scientific diving side, which is like it's a job. So like you've probably woken up some days and not wanted to go to work. Like I've done that for diving, and so like you're not always in the best headspace, but you have to do it because you're getting paid. Yeah. And then there's DMing, where I'm responsible for someone's safety, and it's also a job. Right. I have never had a bad recreational experience, and I have had some scary things happen during scientific dives because we were like pushing ourselves, like just getting really low on air. There was one time where I was trying to impress. It was basically an interview for an internship. And it was during a dive, and I was trying to impress my like potential boss. So I was like trying not to breathe as much air because I wanted to dive. I wanted to collect more data and show them that I could dive for a long time. Right. And I ended up getting like, having like a hypoxic state where like I was like reducing the amount of oxygen that was getting to my brain.
Hypoxia means less oxygen going into your body, by the way, Matt, if you didn't know that.
I didn't.
Thank you, Max.
Keep going, Travis.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so I'm gonna try this new thing where I'm nice to you.
I know. I'm like, damn. Okay. Keep it going.
So that was particularly scary because I surfaced and I had like a really really bad headache, and I could not think straight. Like I couldn't like finish a sentence. Like they were trying to ask me like what was wrong, and I couldn't verbalize exactly like what was happening.
Wow.
And that was pretty scary. And so that fixed itself. Like I just sat out for like about an hour or two.
Did you get the internship?
I did, and it was like one of the best things that ever happened to me. I have
no shit.
Yeah, I got some crazy stories from that that we could get into. Nothing that was like scary, things that were exciting, but nothing that was too scary. Well, kind of scary. I don't know. Maybe I'll expand on that later. Hands down, the scariest thing that ever happened to me happened when I was DMing, which stands for dive mastering. And so like I'm a tour guide basically. Right. So people hire me to take them out in Monterey, which is where I live. So I get people that are fresh off their open water course. They've had 5 dives, and I have people that have thousands of dives, but they're not from California, so they just want someone to show them around. And sometimes those groups are mixed, and I'll have really inexperienced people with brand new people. Yeah. So this was a day where I had someone who was kind of brand new, but they never like to admit that they're brand new. This guy had like 15 dives, but he came off like really confident, and this other dude had like 50 or so dives. So, it's kind of similar experience, but one person was way more comfortable than the other. And so anyway, we swim out to the dive site because we don't use boats here. Okay. And we start to descend. And the less experienced dude is telling me that he has like, he's signaling to me that he is having like some ear problems. And so
ear,
yeah, because when you descend, the pressure increases and you have to equalize.
Yeah, you have to blow your nose or whatever.
Yeah, and like that can hurt, and it can be really uncomfortable and even painful. And so we try to figure out underwater, and we surface, and he's like, "Hey, I'm just, I'm fine. I'm just trying to get it figured out." I was like, "Okay," but in the back of my head, like this guy's starting to worry me a little bit because as a DM, you want to pick up on these warning signs, like people being really quiet, people being too talkative, like buggy eyes, people fidgeting with their gear, making sure that like everything is still where they put it. And so we go for our second descent, and it takes us a couple minutes to descend, but we get down there and everything looks okay. Like I can tell he's uneasy, but like that's not unusual. People get anxious diving in Monterey all the time because it's cold, low visibility, and you're wearing a lot of stuff, so it happens all the time that people get nervous. So I check in with that guy and the other guy. Everybody's okay. So I signal that we're going to head this way. I turn around. I start to swim away. I swim a couple kicks, and visibility wasn't too good. It was like maybe 15 feet. And I swim a couple kicks, and I just have this like bad feeling. And so I turn around, and the dude is not following me. I can't see him anymore. So I swim back towards where we dropped down, and he comes into view, and he's no longer like near the bottom. He's kind of in the middle, maybe around like 20 feet. And he's starting to claw at the water, and I like immediately like that's a huge red flag. Like he's losing control, and so I start to swim over to him, and I'm trying to like remain calm myself. And as soon as I start to like get close to him, he spits out his regulator, and he starts clawing at the water again. And now he's sinking. So he's sinking. He doesn't have his breathing apparatus in his mouth anymore. Like this guy's gonna drown. And so you train for these things as a DM, and even before you're a DM, you train for these like emergencies.
Right.
And you have 2 regulators. Everybody has 2 regulators. But my goal was to get him his, which it was right next to, it was still like right here. So I swim up to him and I grab his regulator and I go to push it in his mouth, but he's like screaming and his teeth are like clenched and I can't get it in his mouth. And I'm in a dry suit, and the vent for a dry suit, because it fills with air, is right here. Mm-hmm. So I'm grabbing onto him, and my arm is up like this. So my air starts to exhaust. So now I'm negative. So we're both sinking. He's not breathing. He's not letting me get the regulator back in his mouth. And this is happening over a couple seconds. And then in a moment of panic, which is what drowning people do, he gets me in a headlock. And so now my head is in his armpit, and I can't see anything other than his armpit now. He's not breathing, and we're sinking. And I'm kicking as hard as I can. I was like, this is terrifying, And so after a few seconds of trying to get him his regulator, like it's clear this guy's not gonna open his mouth. So I reach for his inflator hose, which is on your left shoulder. And so I grab his inflator hose and I just I punch it and I inflate it as much as I can because we just need to get to the surface. We're not deep enough necessarily to worry about getting bent, but we need to not drown. And so we get to the surface and we pop up to the surface and he still has me like in a headlock. And from here, I'm able to like wrestle myself out and I push him away from me and I get behind him. And now he's laying flat on the water like this and I pull his mask off and I'm like hyperventilating, but he's hyperventilating. And that was an awesome like sign because the dude's breathing,
Right, he's
and
not dead.
Yeah, and so like I immediately I just tell him like, you're fine, you're okay. But like in my head, I was also like telling myself, I was like, you're fine, you're okay.
You're talking to yourself, really.
Yeah, and so
yeah, but at the same time, you're probably also saying, "Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck were you thinking?" I bet you were furious at this game.
And it gets worse. So so we all come down. The other guy luckily was watching us, and he surfaces, and he looks bewildered. But he's fine. And so we eventually calm down and I start to talk to him. I'm like, hey man, like what the fuck happened? And what he explains is a really common phenomenon for low visibility dives where he had no frame of reference around him anymore. Everything was green. He couldn't see kelp or rocks or other divers. And he felt like he was sinking like uncontrollably. And so that's why he started to try and claw, because he felt like he was just sinking and he couldn't see the bottom. So he felt like he was just dropping down into the abyss. And then when people's brains go into like utter panic mode, the like fight or flight kicks in, and our fight or flight response is not programmed naturally to have something keeping us alive that's in our mouth. So we kick that out of our mouth because it's obstructing our airway. So a lot of people panicking underwater will kick their regulator out. And so he's like, well, do you think I should keep diving? I was like, I think we're done for the day.
I think never come back again.
Yeah. And so I swim him back. I drop him off at the dive shop. I'm like, hey, talk to like our manager, because he was going to do a second dive. I was like, get a refund or whatever on second dive. I got to go take this other guy out. And I still had to dive that day. So I go and I dive with that dude and I come back and, the other dive went fine. It was great. And the dude like didn't leave me a tip or anything. Just he didn't even say thank you. Not even a thank you. Just he didn't even acknowledge that like.
So you saved this guy's life.
You saved his life, man. Like
it was one of the single most. Yeah, that was. I've never been more scared in my entire life. Like that.
Oh, no
that,
shit.
After that,
I was expecting a shark story or something,
dude,
but that's like it's people.
Yeah.
People are way. I almost had that happen again last week, where I was descending with this girl. It was a family of 3. And on the descent, we got separated because, again, she was having ear problems. And I needed to focus on her because I could tell that she was starting to panic underwater. And so I just stayed really close to her. And you have shoulder straps. And I just grabbed her shoulder strap. And I had my hand on her regulator, keeping it in her mouth as we were descending, because I could tell that she was starting to panic. And she handled it really well. Like, she had to close her eyes. And, like, you could tell that she was like, scrunching her face. You could tell that she was like really struggling internally, but she did a good job, and she was able to calm herself down and nothing bad happened. But I'm far more terrified of someone else getting me killed than anything in the ocean.
Well, I mean, after hearing that story, yeah.
I know.
Like, the fact that, I mean, it makes sense in the context of it, so I get that. But the fact that he just, like, grabs you in a headlock while you're trying to save his life.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
It's the typical panic response. And what they teach you is to approach from behind so that they can't do that. But we were in a situation where I didn't think I had time to maneuver myself. I mean, you're in scuba gear, you're big and bulky. And this dude is sinking. And so there wasn't room for me to go underneath him.
Yeah.
And he didn't have his regulator in his mouth anymore. So the fastest course of action was to approach from the front. And in hindsight, I wish I had taken the time, because he probably wouldn't have drowned in those couple extra like 10 seconds that it took for me to get behind. But it's hard to think that fast, when things shit hits the fan.
When things go down, you gotta operate. You gotta jump on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
we'll say thank you on his behalf because
thank you. Good job, Trav.
Can't just say thank you for saving your life. Jeez.
You can now say that you have saved someone's life, which is pretty big deal.
I hope that's the most extreme it ever gets.
You're positive, like GameStop was at the beginning of the day, but you're negative, like GameStop was at the end.
It was still positive.
It was not. It was not as positive as it was. We're still hoping for that short squeeze. Yeah. With that being said, a little fast forward to or should I say rewind? So let's talk about candy and your possession issues with candy. You know where I'm going with this?
I do.
Okay, yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How much? Actually, let me ask our audience and both of you guys. How much does a Kit Kat, one small Kit Kat, cost?
It depends on where you buy it.
Your dog was answering. Why'd you mute it? I don't know why you muted it. They're trying to tell you how much the chocolate costs.
Yeah, right. Not that much. So when it's a person's life at stake, I would not try to kill a person over a Kit Kat. So I come home one day. I was roommates with you, Travis, and we have a ton of stories how I froze your phone in an ice block. How I
never heard that story.
I ate most of your food. How I got hit in the head with a frying pan and a bamboo stick.
I didn't do those ones, but
I heard about the kendo stick knocking your ass out.
Yeah. And just for everyone so they know, this was the poorest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
I was so woefully poor. I ate frozen hamburger patties and top ramen together, and that was my spaghetti and meatballs.
And
so that's how poor I was. And to continue with your story, Max.
I'd also like to give context that Max got hit in the head with a kendo stick because he was trying to touch your guys' other roommate with a hot frying pan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Calm down.
Just so there's a reason you were smacked in the head.
I was holding the hot frying pan.
Yeah, trying to touch him.
Defend myself from the kendo stick. Okay. Anyways, so here I am coming home from a long day. I didn't work. I went to school.
Yeah, you didn't work. No.
Yeah, I went to school till like 7:30. Like I had a late night class and I ate. Travis had a candy jar, and usually when you have a candy jar, it's out for the public.
Do you hear how he's making it sound like you're the villain? Like he's done nothing wrong.
All right, I'm gonna let you just take it away, Max.
Yeah.
And I'll address the inconsistencies.
Everything was consistent. Period. And we'll skip along after the story. So here I am, and I decide, you know what? I'm gonna call Matt. So I call Matt on the phone. I don't know why I wanted to call you. It's just maybe I just was like,
I'm special.
Hey, I'm gonna call Matt. And then
a wild Eric Menyuk appears.
Wild Eric Menyuk. We're right now in the
Hello.
This is like the fourth time he's shown up in the middle of an episode.
I love you, my son. My son, I love you.
All right, awesome. Wow.
All right. Wow.
So Jesus. So when where was I called Matt on the phone and I'm like, yeah, man, I just got home. And then I got home, yada, yada. And then I go, oh, fuck. And you actually took some time. This was a project.
We pranked each other, and you always you were that person that would just take it too far.
Okay, so you wanted to. This time you were like, all right, I gotta really you made an arts and crafts.
Wasn't that far?
Where it read out. You took and you didn't write Kit Kat. No. You put the evidence.
Yeah.
The Kit Kat wrapper. And you stuck it to there, and it said, prepare to die.
Yeah,
Is that what it said?
It said prepare to die.
It said prepare. Yeah, you took my Kit Kat bar, prepare to die, and I read it out to Matt. And Matt, what did you hear after that?
I heard on the phone Max start panicking, going, Matt, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Ah! And then you just heard Travis from the top of I think you had bunk beds, right?
Bed.
Yeah.
I did have a bunk bed,
just Travis dive bomb him. And then I just listened to you two fighting while Max is screaming bloody murder. You're like, don't eat my candy.
A full spider monkey jump from the bed. Very well done. Story to remember.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair point. Don't eat his candy.
So I'd like to now there was
defend
things
yourself.
that happened, leading up to this. So
25-cent candy, maybe. Okay. Probably not. Yeah. Probably like a 10-cent candy back in the day.
Let's just think. You've already admitted to eating my food in general, right? So,
I dabbled. Sometimes Top Ramen tastes good, but yeah, keep going.
I made $8 an hour, and I worked part-time. Okay, I had no money.
I wasn't working. I had no money.
Yeah, I'm not gonna feed you. Okay, hold on. I let you talk. Okay. So, the one thing that I had to look forward to was Christmas and Easter and like Valentine's Day. My mom would give me. He's running away now.
He's not even listening. He's leaving in the middle of our podcast.
This is
disrespectful.
This isn't even the rudest thing he's ever done.
This is by far not the rudest thing he's ever done. While he's gone, I'm gonna just tell this story while he's gone. I was gonna bring up this time when you cut his nipple open with a towel whip. Do you remember this at Sam's birthday party?
Oh man, yeah, I do.
That was comedy gold.
You guys locked him outside with me.
We locked him outside. He face planted into a screen door. Yeah, and then welcome back, Max. Thank you for joining us on the podcast you co-host. You're muted.
My dog was getting into the trash.
Which one?
It's all over. Luca.
Okay. Do you want to hear Travis's rebuttal to your argument?
Yes, I do.
Travis, I apologize for that.
Oh no, I'm used to it.
I'm honestly not. Honestly, I don't apologize because there should be no rebuttal.
So okay. You eat my food. Okay. Yes. You do it all the time. Holidays are the only thing. The candy that I get on the holidays was like a lifesaver, you know? Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It brought me up when I was down, okay? And so I'm gone, probably, working, slaving over a hot computer, okay? And I come home and I find in the trash can, in my own trash can, you couldn't even throw it away in a different trash can. You threw my candy wrapper away in my trash can.
Wait, I have a question. Whose candy wrapper was it?
What are you trying to do here?
It's your candy wrapper. I should throw it away in your trash can.
Oh my god, you're such an asshole. So the evidence was right there. So of course I was gonna use it against you. And I do not feel bad. I would do it again if I could. And if you ever eat my candy ever again, I don't even care if it's your wedding. I will attack you.
But now you're not poor.
I'm less poor.
Funny story. You were the first one ever that I smoked the ganja with.
Yeah, so, I know, and I thought I killed you.
He denied that for like 6 months after that too, that he never smoked. You send me a video like Max smoking for the first time, and then he literally was like, "I never did it. I would never do it." It's like, Max, I have a video of you trying to rip a bong. Like,
I lots of like, I was thinking the other day after I knew that I was going to do this. Mm-hmm. Like we would just drive around, like we had nothing to do. We went to a community college, so we didn't have like a lot of parties to go to. Right. We would just drive around the city looking for open tobacco shops to find hashish.
Shisha.
Yeah.
Shisha.
To smoke out of our hookah and stuff. Yeah. And then we would just like smoke hookah with the blue light on and the projector on, and then Max would smoke weed and have a seizure or something. Like, what a life! Like when I judge like 18-year-olds now, like I have a cousin that's like around 18 or something. When I judge what they're doing, I'm just trying to think of what I was doing at 18. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have much room to judge.
Yeah, let's talk about 18. So we're roommates, and by roommates, we're literally living in the same room. And you had a chick at the time, not the chick that you have this time. And
nope, true.
Seriously, the way you speak and the magic in your words.
and all I gotta say is like you were on a bunk bed, bro. Like you were on a bunk bed.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. I'm so fucking glad you brought this up. Yeah. Okay, I talked shit with a bunk bed, Max. Do you know how many times I had sex in your bed when you were gone?
No! No way!
Dude, you left almost every weekend.
Did you put a towel down?
Hell no! You ate my candy, you monster! Are you kidding me?
No. You've been holding this for the last like 8 years.
I thought you knew.
You're a fucking monster. Fuck your candy.
Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ.
The only time that she would ever visit was on the weekends, and you left every single weekend to see the girl that you were dating at the time. So I wasn't going to screw on the rickety ass bunk bed.
I was dating someone at the time?
Oh my God.
Voldemort.
Yeah, the one that must not be named. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Fuck you. I can't. I'm are you fucking? You're a terrible
dude.
You called me a terrible roommate.
What I was
Fuck
doing in your bed was no worse, dude. When you moved out and we moved your bed, there was like half-eaten raw chicken containers under your bed. For the Costco. It's like that's not raw, but those raw chicken in water. You would eat that shit out of the can and then pick your teeth with spaghetti, raw spaghetti. What the F? You were worried about me doing it in your bed?
Jesus Christ. Look, all I have to say is that at the end of the day, when it wasn't...
Is Agora burning down?
No, the laundry... Look, guys, the laundry is done. And now it's done. So, the worst memory that you know what, fuck you. Yeah, so you broke, whenever I'd walk back into the room when you weren't fucking on my bed but on your fucking bed, I just your fucking computer's on the floor, books are just fucking falling down. I just felt bad for you. You're yeah, you need to clean this shit up. But fuck, I can't believe you did that.
I built that.
It was not even myself. A nice bed. It was like a twin bed.
Yeah, mine was a twin bed suspended 6 feet in the air. Okay, I crawled into bed and that thing moved like this. If I rolled too much in my sleep, books would fall off the side.
Look, I had some good roommates afterwards, especially in the fraternity house. I mean, I definitely was a bad roommate. Yeah. Not gonna, but I've never fucked on another man's bed.
I don't believe
that. You were hardly a man back then.
I don't even want to know.
I don't believe that.
I don't want to know if anything was on my pillows, because you're that sick fuck that probably put shit on my pillows. That was you. Did you put anything on my pillows?
I can't remember.
You do not recall. You are fucking.
No, I treated that bed like my own because it basically was.
Well, so we roomed together, and then you went off to Marine Bio.
That place.
We're gonna skip ahead, and now you're gonna take me on a free dive because of you fucking on my fucking bed.
I just got done with that long story about how I'm terrified, or the most terrifying scenarios are with people.
Yeah.
I think you would give me probably the most terrifying story
100%
that I could ever have. So
we'd have fun. We'd have a great time.
Different definitions of fun, I think.
Yeah. I wouldn't, and it wouldn't be like a headlock. I would fake it, and then you'd come up and I'd go.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because do you remember?
It's like a therapy session right now between you two.
Do you remember this stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens if you turn this stuff upside down and spray it?
No.
It sprays out. It's whatever's in here is compressed and it's liquid, but it's really cold. And if you hold it upside down and spray it, it sprays out You don't do it here. Do you see the?
Yeah.
It's like a jet.
Yeah. No, but you see the ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's freezing cold. So I would used to do that shit to Max when he was me off.
That's how I know it burns, dude.
Yeah.
That stuff. After
it hurts,
dude. Here's the thing what I think about. Let's just talk about it. What we were 18 through college. For the people that went, 18 through we were we should have died. There are times where I'm looking back at it and I'm I
reckless.
Easily, reckless.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till my kid is at that point.
Reckless. I really can.
I'm not in a rush.
Kid. Yeah. No, specifically for your kid, Max. I can wait.
For my kid. You can wait. Yeah. Are you into Tambrina? Thinking about Thinking about the old kiddos.
I mean, like we joke about that stuff. It's not something that we like seriously like plan out because like neither of us are like anywhere near a space where that's something that we even want to do.
What would his or her name be?
Oh, dude, Charizard? I don't know.
Brick hates the fucking name, but Hercules. I'll stick with that.
Oh no, dude.
It would be
Hercules?
Yeah.
Hercules.
No.
Hercules, come to dinner.
The most like overused
I'm coming, father.
Greek name ever. At least do something cool, you know, like some other Greek name that's cool.
I was thinking Achilles, but he was a puss and got like shot in the foot.
Wait. Sorry. Where did Achilles get shot?
In the heel, in the Achilles tendon.
Okay.
I mean the movie was good with Achilles, Troy.
Yeah,
played by Brad Pitt.
Phenomenal movie. Great movie.
Yeah, good looking dude too.
Yeah,
you'd set your kid up for failure there, man. That's a lot to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
You got to name him.
You
got to name him one of the Greek gods that like was awful and terrible, so that way the bar is just really low.
Yeah.
Like
Max.
Like Max was not a god.
No, I know, but.
Hey, take that soundbite and loop that somewhere fun. Max was not a god. That
could be our theme song.
Max was not a god.
Oh my god.
But yeah, dude, a lot of good memories.
Yeah.
These all sound like great memories. I wish.
Do you guys have any fucked up memories? How did you and Matt?
Me and Matt don't have, because when all of these things were taking place, I was moved away and I was
race car.
You know, our crazy.
I literally. Did you just hear him?
I did.
I'm going to have to censor that again. I literally told Travis, like, we were talking shit about you before you got on. And I was like, Max said this story, and I had to censor it. Travis was like, oh, I know. I knew what story it was.
I didn't say what their name was.
Max. You're going to say it.
I will say, because I like took a hiatus. I didn't see you guys for... I didn't see you guys too often for a while. Yeah, I was like a reoccurring character for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And when I started hanging out again with you guys, that had happened, and it blew my damn mind.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Wait, what had happened?
Keep up, Max.
We're talking about.
Dude, oh my god.
I'm trying to think of something that I have to censor that you would make me censor.
So, wait. So here's my question though. Like, honestly, dude, like, there was a point where me and Travis just could not stand each other. It was like a long point. It was like 4 years, 5 years of living with him and doing that whole thing. Honestly, it wasn't that bad being your roommate. It was honestly just the mess and all that. And I think I was the worst roommate. But
my mess?
I think what?
My mess?
Yeah, my mess.
Oh,
I said I was the mess. I was the mess, and I ate your food. I think I was the worst roommate.
So
I will not hold up in court.
I had a roommate. You were pretty bad, but at least like I could like a lot of the shit that happened was funny. You know, I had a roommate in college or at CSUMB that like was just bizarre and like would walk around and like tidy whities and a kimono and kitty cat ears and listen to like dubstep like really loud at like 8 a.m.
Was your roommate Mark Rabillet?
I don't
know who that is.
He's a DJ who literally performs in a kimono in his underwear.
maybe that's why he did this. Maybe I just didn't get it, you know. The first night that I spent in that you guys never got to see like where I lived at CSUMB. It was really cool.
No.
We had like little condos that were it was student housing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a bed for my first night, and I slept on the couch, and I woke up to him walking by like that, and I was like, oh dear God, what like random roommates, man. These really they're
the best.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, at least at least I can laugh at you and stuff, and like we have fun talking about it. I don't even talk to that guy anymore because he did a lot of other things that were super weird and stuff. But
I could talk to my last roommate. Like me and him could like every now and then we'll message on Snapchat or whatever. But yeah, I kind of scarred him. I would say Yeah, you don't want to wake up to your roommate doing what your roommate was doing. So
Max, I see. Man, I have stories, but I'm not even gonna get into those stories.
We're gonna wrap this up. This is
going
to be part. We will do part 2 of this documentary series later.
No, you didn't even. Max, I thought you could have trivia questions, like marine related trivia questions.
Don't say
that's what I had.
No, you didn't.
I fucking had that, and Matt was like, "No, we're just gonna talk."
You Googled utter nonsense trivia.
No, I Googled marine bio trivia. It's right here.
Pull a question.
Marine bio
you got
trivia.
5 seconds to ask a question. 5,
Wait,
4,
hold up.
3,
I need
2,
to open up the tab.
1. You're literally typing it in.
Hold up. Trivia.
You're literally looking it up right now.
All right, Travis. Ocean quiz number 1. Think you know about sharks. Well, I sure do. What is a is it
you have like 2 seconds left before I cut you off.
Chain what is a chain cat shark?
What? Huh?
It shows a picture and it says, "Is this a chain?"
Okay, no, we're done. We're done.
Man.
Travis, you don't need to answer that. We're done.
Caribbean
Max,
reef life
Max,
quizzes.
shut up.
Okay, ancient Greeks were the first accomplished marine navigators. True or false?
Ancient Greeks? Probably not. It was probably like the Polynesians or something.
It's actually true.
Wow, look at me.
Just kidding. It says true or false, and if I can't click it unless I go all the way
Oh my god, we're done. Max, please shut your mouth. Travis, thank you for coming on. I'm sorry, I'm ending this. I can't deal with this anymore.
No, this was cathartic. I think there was a lot of things that I need to get out from the past few years, and it's nice to do it.
Let's bring you if you want to come back on and do round 2 of this. Honestly, I don't think I talked the last 30 minutes. I just listened to you 2 fight. It was great.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I love it.
We will be on the next Utter Nonsense. We're actually going to have 3 of guests that have been on the show, so we'll bring you back on.
I have no idea what he's talking about, but cool.
3 guests. Tune in next week.
I just can't wait for your wedding, Max, because then I get to do all of this in front of your friends and family.
Oh yeah, I already give my best man speech to you. You can take it. I pass that on to you.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, I'll just be that drunk guy in a suit that stands up at the most inopportune moment and breaks his glass trying to get people's attention.
You're gonna be like, what's his name from Wedding Crashers?
Owen Wilson.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm down.
Wow.
Travis, is there anything you want to plug or promote before you wrap this up?
Sure. I try to take photos underwater. So, oh god, I don't even know my Instagram.
We'll put it in the description below.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. I think it's Travlegit, TRAVLEGIT, but I try and take photos when I can. And
I'm not even following you. I need to follow that. Travlegit
really,
Marine.
Man? That hurts.
Is it?
Oh, I don't follow Max on Instagram.
Wait, hold up. No. Is it just your normal Instagram, or do you have like
normal
a picture
Instagram?
take?
It's his normal Instagram.
I basically pivoted from it being like personal to just. I hate posting stuff on social media. I really do, but it's a good way to challenge me to take better photos. So that's kind of how I do it,
Well, we'll put that in the description below.
It is Travlegit on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you are so inclined, Moss Landing Marine Labs is.
That's a sea slug. Look at that shit.
Yeah, it's a nudibranch.
What?
It's a nudibranch. It means naked gills in Latin. I think it's Latin. Anyway, Moss Landing Marine Labs has like a fundraiser and stuff for scholarships. So you could check out. Just Google Moss Landing Marine Labs. And just if it's worth tossing some money their way, if you feel so inclined,
we'll put the link down there too for that.
Yeah,
put $300 down there to all of our 25 viewers. Put a good $300.
For $1 a day, you can support a grad student like me.
Close us out, Matt.
Oh, thank you, Max, for the permission.
Close us the fuck out.
I'm actually just going to mute you at this point. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Utter Nonsense podcast. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow. Your support does mean the world to us. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and so much more. If you want to look at our pretty faces, we are also on YouTube as well at the Utter Nonsense podcast. Once again, your like, comment, share, subscribe. That support does mean a lot to us. Max, don't call me after this. I don't want to talk. Travis, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
And you're muted. Again, they can't hear you. They literally can't hear you. You're muted.
On my bed.
You're muted.
You can't mute me. You can't handle the truth.
Goodbye.